You've asked it. We all have. If God is good, why the suffering? Why the loss, the sickness, the betrayal, the pain that doesn't make sense? It's a question that echoes in hospital rooms, in empty bedrooms, in silent prayers through tears. And though God doesn't always give us the why, He gives us something better, His presence in it. He doesn't watch from a distance. He steps into the pain, not to explain it away, but to walk through it with us. Even Jesus suffered, not just to save us, but to show us He understands. Jesus didn't skip suffering. He embraced it. He wept. He was rejected. He was betrayed by friends and crushed by injustice. Not because He had to, but because love led Him there. If suffering were pointless, Jesus wouldn't have endured it. But He did. Because sometimes pain is the place where purpose is born. Sometimes the fire we fear is what refines our faith. God doesn't waste what wounds us. He works through it. Even what the enemy meant for evil, God can use for good. It may not make sense now, but He's still writing your story. Pain exposes what comfort hides. In suffering, we ask deeper questions. We slow down. We cry out. We remember we're not in control. And in that space, God meets us, not always with answers, but always with Himself. The Psalms are full of cries from the broken, and yet they echo with faith. Because suffering doesn't mean God is absent. It means He's closer than ever. He is near to the brokenhearted, not just watching, but weeping with you. And in time, He brings beauty from the ashes, not by removing the scars, but by redeeming them. If you feel God's whisper today, don't forget to subscribe and click the bell to hear more. Sometimes the greatest gift God gives in suffering is not the escape, but the encounter. Moses met God in the wilderness. Joseph found purpose in prison. Paul discovered power in weakness. Suffering stripped away what was shallow and revealed what was eternal. It's in the crushing that the oil flows. It's in the valley that we hear His whisper. Pain has a way of breaking down our pride so grace can rebuild us from the inside out. Not harder, but softer. Not bitter, but deeper. This isn't punishment. It's preparation. Not the end of the story, but the beginning of something holy. You don't have to pretend it doesn't hurt. God never asked for fake strength. He invites honesty. Even Jesus cried out, "My God, why have you forsaken me?" And yet, that cry didn't stop the resurrection. Pain wasn't the period. It was a pause, a holy silence before the miracle. Your suffering isn't proof that God has left. It's a space He's already filled. You are not being punished. You are being held, refined, shaped. Sometimes God allows what He hates to accomplish what He loves. A faith that's fire-tested is a faith that cannot be shaken. What if your suffering is sacred ground? Not because the pain is good, but because God is doing something in it, something you can't see yet. Like a seed buried deep, growth starts in the dark, in hidden places, in tears no one else sees, but God sees. And He's not just watching, He's working, forming endurance, stretching your faith, teaching your soul to cling to Him, not just in blessing, but in the storm. You may feel like you're breaking, but He's building, not in spite of the suffering, but through it, with purpose, with promise. There will be a day when every tear is wiped away, when all the questions are answered and every scar tells a story of redemption. But until then, we trust, not because it's easy, but because He is faithful. Even in silence He speaks. Even in darkness He sees. Even in suffering He stays. You are not forgotten. You are not abandoned. The God who bled for you walks with you now, one step at a time. Even when it hurts, you are not alone. You are loved in the valley just as deeply as on the mountaintop. God doesn't waste pain, not yours, not anyone's. What you thought would break you might be the very thing He uses to rebuild you, stronger, deeper, truer. He's not asking you to understand everything. He's asking you to trust Him in everything. You may never get all the answers on this side of eternity, but you can get peace. You can get presence, and you can find purpose, even in the pieces. Because God is still good, even when life isn't. What's one thing God taught you in the middle of suffering? Share it in the comments. Your story could be the light someone else needs.